Well, audience. It would seem I forgot to reorder the cameras. Hold on a second. It's still a high energy intro. Just hold on. Relax. James is waving his hands.
I'm just trying to get the energy up there,
Yeah, no, I think the frantic energy of my voice is pretty high energy.
Yeah, let's raise the bar.
Welcome to King Arthur Pendragon 5.2, the Great Pendragon Campaign, episode 44. This is APGamingREAL with another high energy impact introduction. We did the intro in reverse. That's how high energy we are. We are going to be speeding up our turns a little bit more, so you're going to see the years fly by. I've heard that the years start coming and they don't stop coming.
Just run the game 1.5 AP. Before YouTube.
Oh wow! Hey, dude, Amos, I didn't realize you were on this show. Incredible. We find ourselves in Countess Ellen's court at Sarum. The princes of Sussex and Kent are here, although while he is technically referred to as a prince, he is addressed as Earl Kyned of Kent, which, as you may note, is not a Saxon title, but a Anglo-Frank, or sorry, a Brito-Frank, a Brittany-ish one. It's definitely French because it's Earl. He is here representing his father, King Aesk, and also in attendance is Prince Sisa of Sussex, representing his father, King Ael. I think we're gonna do slow helicopter cam, drone cam, pulling in on the outside of the court, looking at two women who are sitting outside discussing some gossip. And we see the first one say, "Those fashions from Cornwall look better to me every time another castle surrenders to King Idris. They are coming. This year Dorset, next year us. What are you, the King's Marshal now? You sleeping with Prince Mark when he comes to know that? My cousin knows a trader who goes to Sussex, and he says that they're all getting ready for another invasion. They're putting out a call for volunteers overseas and sent some boxes of silver to hire the Franks and the Goths." "Your cousin says that every year. Oh, did he bring back one of those brooches?" "No, but wait until you taste the chicken tonight." And then we cut to all of you, your close friends.
That was a segue.
Yeah.
Straight to the chicken.
Yeah. I didn't write these, James. This was written by Greg Stafford, okay?
Where did it get him?
Award-winning game designer, legendary game master. Where did he get him? I don't know. How about whatever RPG awards? This RPG, 6 editions. How about that, James? How's that? Is that good enough for you? I was going to ask how many editions of a tabletop role-playing game have you written, but I'm worried you are writing one right now and you can't talk about it, and then you'd feel really bad that I said that. What a complicated answer. All of your friends are here, and there is some discussion about a inter-Order of the Axe alliance to some extent. It's well past time for Seath and Erwin to both get married, and there are discussions that elders in each of their houses are talking about a alignment of a joint house. However, it is no secret that Dame Erwin does not want to lose either her title or her noble house, and control of it would traditionally be given over to Sir Seath and his male primogenitor heritage. So it seems like not all is well in that regard. But perhaps the biggest piece of topic that is being discussed right now as we come to all of you entering is that there are rumors that King Cerdic of the Wessexians, or Wessex, may in fact be the treacherous son of Vortigern. Now, this is a rumor that comes up from time to time, but it hasn't come up since he moved into Wessex, and it's almost certain that spies from Wessex are going to hear that it's being discussed in this court here today. What do you guys want to do?
Unless you want to advise Ellen to publicly decry the rumors, say that people have started these rumors, but we will not hear it in this court. So I think if we want Wessex to feel that we're not buying into it.
Okay.
Also,
her vizier whispers in her ear.
No, I'm having this conversation with the group whether we make
I
this.
see. I thought you said I'm going to Ellen. My apologies.
No.
I agree. And what is it your religion says? Something about the sins of the father shall not be visited upon the son. Is that it, or is that wrong?
Yeah, sounds right. I'm sure there's other texts that completely contradict that, though.
Yeah. But I agree. I think
Remind me which house is it that we've been paying?
We've been paying
King
Ayla
AL of Sussex.
Yeah.
Sussex. Okay.
Here we go.
They're the strongest.
According to Exodus 34:7, God will punish the children of this for the sins of their parents, but only as far as the fourth generation from the parent.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's not try to dunk on the Bible too hard here tonight.
Well, then we can hate him for one more generation.
Wow.
I'm on board.
I do think it is a good idea to maintain good relations with our southern neighbors.
You're saying you want me to find any of his spies that he has here and get rid of them?
Well, we would have to just find the ones they would send in replacement, so perhaps feeding them information would be better. Telling them what we want them to hear.
So, intrigue is not my specialty, I'm afraid.
As the camera pulls back slightly from this conversation, entering cutscene mode, we can see in the background.
It goes letterbox format.
We could see in the background that the level of minstrelry has improved over the years. Like this year, there's like a dude playing a flute really jauntily, and now there's like people with hand drums going around, and new musical instruments are being introduced, including like the dulcimer. And people are just like, whoa, cool, and listening to new sorts of rural folk music that's evolving over time and making its way into the court by the musicians. We can see that the physician Quintus of Ilchin is over there in pretty good Latin, explaining to people that this year 500, Christ is expected to appear again, and that it would be a good year to take a pilgrimage across the Mediterranean Sea, through the Roman Empire, and to arrive at Jerusalem so that you can be at the birthplace of Christ when the time comes for his arrival on what the locals called the Yule. So he's trying to hype up his homeland, Rome. And then we cut back to him looking askance at Kyned. And I want to imagine the two of you just have like a furtive, like his eyes are on the top of the screen and your eyes are on the bottom as the two of you temporarily lock eyes before he goes back to espousing loudly in Latin the good powers of the Roman Empire of Constantinople. Not Rome, Constantinople. Oh, chat, that hurts me deeply inside. Wow.
Oh, I'm on chat. I didn't know it's hitting Arthur.
They said, you'll better be there. That's real dad joke level material. All right, so there are several people to talk to here. Plenty of news if you'd like to talk to messengers. Any of your knights, any of the local knights of note that you know. And of course, there is the Earl Kiniarch of Kent and Prince Cisa of Sussex. The Countess is also available to talk to. There are also intrigues. There is one intrigue before I say intrigues. A single intrigue. Glimo, you jumping in there?
I'll jump on the intrigue. I was gonna you know what, I'll do the intrigue first and then I'll do my other thing.
Okay. I think that as you're making your way around the court, checking in with, cooks and squires, pages, handmaidens, the low people, the little people who've made it into this feast, you see Sir Falbred de Havilard of Silchester and a different agent who is still wearing colors indicating that he works for the Marquis Shiark of Pometane. And they hand over some messages to you, and the three of you together are trying to figure out what the great schemes crossing the lands are right now. So make your intrigue roll, and we'll see what your networks can do.
Oh, I fail.
The two of them are way more concerned. I mean, Pometane is so far north, it's basically almost on the border and practically occupied and blockaded by King Lot and the Lothians and de Orkney, and he's really concentrated there. Havilard is just not that helpful this year. He seems super worried about what's shaking out with these Saxons, and he's concentrating all his efforts there. You know that something has happened with the Countess. You can hear people talking around the edges of it, but when you get nearby, they leave. And you get like half of a buried note, or like burned note that says like, I saw the Countess was meeting with, and then that's the part that's burned off. You know what I mean? Like, all of your plots and plans are not coming together this year. It's frustrating, but there's something about the Countess that's being spoken about in this court and across the realm that you don't know about.
Okay.
Glimo's making notes.
I am, with my clicky keyboard.
We can't hear it, just to be clear.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
I thought
You
I
just
thought that was
looked
why
off
you said
screen
it.
and I was like, he's making notes. Yes, plots, plans.
Okay. I will seek out Gwgan.
Hello.
My brother, I have heard that there are rumors floating about the Countess, but I've not been able to pin them down. The tongues go silent when they see me approach, but given your special relationship, I would say be wary, and please, if you hear anything, let me know.
Do you think that there is some sort of danger, that it's a threat to the Countess?
I don't know. I don't believe that it would be a threat. I feel like I would have. Tongues wouldn't go so silent then, but it seems like it's more in the realm of politic and rumor.
I'll ask. It may be a private matter, but I'll see what I can find out. So, will I approach the Countess then, AP? You on mute, I think, or?
Yeah, you're muted, AP.
Yes.
Okay. I will try and find, just try and pull Ellen aside at some point if we can.
Okay. I think there are definitely looks, right, that are askance. The rumors of your relationship have been spreading very slowly, but you are often at her side. Definitely more than someone of your position at court might do. And the two of you head to a side room with the excuses, of course, matters of state.
Yeah. I'm 1 point off being famous for my amour of Ellen, so. getting an early start in that romance period. My lady, it seems that Kyned tells me that we have some. Oh, it's not Kyned. Who you again? It's Kyned. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, it
Right,
was Sir Kyned, the spy master,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You were just speaking with him. I saw
yes.
the two of you.
It seems that tongues are wagging in court with some rumor about you. I don't know whether there is any sort of truth to it, but it seems that something has set the nobles to gossip.
That is unfortunate. There was a messenger from Cornwall that had arrived. I had hoped that his passage would be unseen.
It seems it was not. Is the matter outstanding? Is it resolved?
It would be better for the realm if this was a squashed rumor.
Right.
We do not need more tongues wagging about this particular matter.
All right. I will talk with Kyned, see what we can do.
And make sure to try the chicken. I heard it's especially good tonight.
But otherwise, you are okay? This is not cause for concern?
It's just there are some offers that have been made. And of course, I'm sure it's no surprise that Cornwall's armies have been drawing ever closer to our borders. There is some question as to where they will besiege this year, but their expansion has been remarkably fast.
Is there any word yet of tribute demands from the Saxon princes and kings?
I believe they are probably here today to discuss that.
Okay, so there's been nothing said yet to you.
We shall see.
All right. If there's anything else that we can do to help, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to Kyned about doing what we can to quash these rumors. I'll go back to Kyned.
Okay.
Kyned.
Yes. What were you able to find out?
So she did meet with a messenger from Cornwall. There is a matter. I didn't feel it necessary to push on it. There is no danger or threat to her, but she has said that it would behoove us to quash these rumors if we can.
I will see what can be done.
In the meantime, while they're doing this, I would like to speak to Dame Irwin and Sir Seed and the elders of their house to resolve this marriage quandary.
Interesting. There's nothing I like more than somebody getting involved in somebody else's business. As you walk over, you hear Seed going, "Have you tried the chicken, Erwin?" And she goes, "Yes, I've tried the chicken, Seed." This feels like a distraction to the conversation. As you walk over, the both of them, other sides of the table, both stand up to greet you and then gesture for you to sit with them.
I will, greet them in return and sit at the table, pulling over like a plate of chicken.
Have you tried the chicken? It really feels like they salted the honey before honeying the chicken. Wild. I believe they called it rotisserie honeyed chicken. It's a new way of doing things.
Well, it tastes delicious. It's so I've heard there are some rumors about that the two of you are thinking of joining your houses.
I think they look at each other. Seeth looks slightly embarrassed, and Erwin looks like this is none of your business. And then the two of them kind of look at each other, and then they look at you, and Seeth goes, well, there are always discussions about the unions of houses. I mean, who can say where these rumors come from? But I certainly wouldn't be opposed to such a union if it were to happen. And Erwin says, yes, it would be such a strong house for the two of us to be combined underneath my family lineage. A night house with the history of my family would be an excellent bolster to the local forces.
So, would you not combine the two houses?
Wow, when you say that, Seeth is like, impossible. Give up my family name? And Erwin goes, the family honor that I have, my people, my ancestors have accumulated to wipe that all away?
Think of it as a river. Each of you, your own tributary, but when you come together in a single flow, is the river not stronger and wider and faster for it?
I'm going to need a roll here. Matchmaker.
Sure. What skill would you like?
Oh boy. I'll take suggestions from you if you have a skill.
I've got a courtesy. I've got
Man, I really want you to
orate,
make a
romance.
prudent roll, but I don't know that that's actually called for here. I just won it.
Yeah.
I think courtesy is certainly interesting. I think more than romance, because you definitely are not playing up the romance angle in any
Sure.
way.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. That is a success.
Oh, is it a success? A 9 on a 15. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The two of them are looking at each other, and they're both born knights, right? And they are thinking about the legalities and paperwork that are involved, and they're like, well, how do we combine our family crests so that we have one heraldic icon that both of our families can accept? And Seeth is like, what if we go with an eagle attacking a mongoose eating a snake? She's like, no one would ever go with that crest. That's crazy. We should go with an oak leaf. And you can tell that the conversation has now moved from should we combine houses to how will we combine houses?
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. You know what? Take a check in courtesy.
Okay. I will.
All right,
Thank you.
Glimo, we're back to you.
I would like to go and see my minstrel group.
You go to see your minstrel group. They're absolutely jamming it. They've picked up a new guy who does the bagpipes.
Excellent.
They hand you over a cut of their earnings for this year.
Oh.
£2 that they've picked up. The tale of you just hard mama jamming it back at the castle was so popular. They're licensing the song out to other minstrel groups and making a fortune. And so this year, rather than getting patronage money from you, they're giving you money that they owe you in taxes.
Nice.
The group leader looks a little bit more worn, a little bit more gray at the edges around the temples, and he says, "My lord, good to see you as always."
Good to see you. How, apparently you had a good year.
It would seem so, but apparently you've had several good years.
Only because of the stories you tell.
I could not tell the stories were there no basis in fact, my lord.
I need some assistance.
We are, as
It-
always, at your service.
I appreciate that. It appears that there's some rumors going around about the Countess.
Ah, yes, about the Countess, the messengers from Cornwall.
Yes. Um, what do you know about it?
She was seen meeting in the middle of the night with a squire from Prince Mark, son of the king. It's all rather scandalous, you know. I want to be tactful here, my lord. I would hardly speak rudely about my lady in my lord's own house, but it is well known that she is a widowed woman who has affections for a certain knight, and it has set tongues wagging when a young man makes his way to her in the middle of the night in some manner of secrecy.
What would it take to create a better story to distract from anything going on with my liege lady?
How close would you say the relationship of the Countess is to Dorset? Perhaps one excellent excuse would be an approach, a secret offer of alliance to attack Dorset this year. I must say, there was some debate along the road whether Somerset, Salisbury, or Dorset would be the ones eating the prey of the wolves of Cornwall this year. But given that Cornwall and Dorset are both hiring mercenaries at an incredible rate, and for that matter, King Ael of Sussex and Aethelwith of Essex are also both hiring mercenaries. Courts across the island, and for that matter, there are rumors about Jutes, Goths, Iberians. People from the continent are being brought into this year's battle. It is a good time to be a mercenary, my lord, and to sell one's sword for certain. Knights, men-at-arms, even peasants who have gathered weapons from the many battles their lords have been in are all making their fortune this year for certain. If you wanted to imply that Salisbury was considering an offer to attack Dorset from the north, while helping their allies of Cornwall from the west, that would certainly offset any carnal rumors that one may have heard from. It is certainly an extreme rumor to spread, but you find me in a time when I am not... I have not had much time to think up an alternative story.
I was mostly hoping that we could make up something that didn't involve the Countess at all, but would be either salacious or intriguing enough to overtake any stories that might be going out about the Countess.
Well,
You
it
know,
is no
make up something
secret
good
to
about
anybody
the
that
Saxons or
a squire has visited in the night. That is well known. But if we could say that the squire visited someone else, perhaps someone you don't like, pin the rumors on them, is there someone in the court that you would rather this rumor lie upon?
there is a certain physician from Rome.
I think that would be a difficult one to pin it on, but not impossible, my lord. He is known around these parts. If that is your will, we will execute it.
I had been hoping that we could just keep the whole Squire business out of it, as well as the, I was hoping to just create something new out of whole cloth.
I understand. If you manage to get a critical, we'll do that.
Okay.
If you want to play the game, you have to play the game, my lord.
Fair enough. And I take it this would be intrigue again?
It's intrigue, for sure.
Okay. Since I am doing this on behalf of the Countess, can I impassion with Loyalty Lord?
Oh, certainly.
Nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. That's successful impassioning.
It didn't go wrong, so good enough.
And
that's a famous trait, right? So 16 plus means
yes.
You were
it's
at
still
risk.
It's still a +5.
But
Okay.
yes, you were at risk of madness.
I was at risk of madness, yes. All right.
But aren't we all these days?
I love the idea that the madness for him would be running around and saying, "The Countess met with the Squire in the middle of the night. I can't hold it in. It's true."
The pen is blue.
Okay.
There are 4 lights.
Oh wow, Star Trek. Huh? Okay.
That's a successful intrigue roll.
It is a 3 on a 20, so it is successful. Your people here tried to do their best to squash the rumor, but they have to hard pivot to, well, that Squire was coming to visit, the physician Quintus of Ilchin in the middle of the night, and someone was like, I don't think he was here that night, and the musicians are like, that's what the physician wants you to think, and the whole court is like, ooh. And now people are spreading rumors like, was he meeting the Squire to flirt with him? Is the Squire secretly a traitor? Did the Squire have some rare medical disease only a wise Roman surgeon could fix? There are all sorts of rumors, but the name on everyone's lips now is Quintus rather than Countess. Meanwhile, back to Gwgan. If there's anything you would like to do at this year's court?
No, I mean, I think for me, I'm just trying to find out what the expectations of the Saxons are, if they haven't already shared them. But they may do that in court naturally. I'm not sure.
I think that as you wander over, it's not like a direct conversation, but you definitely hear from the Saxons that both Kiniark and Sisa are looking to hire mercenaries. That they have heard that in the past, it has been some time, but in the past, knights of this court have been authorized to go out, and specifically from Prince Sisa, who is a very cold, almost psychopathic man. He has said, Sir Gwgan, I understand that you're quite close with your countess. Is this not true?
As the Castellan, I have her ear, yes.
Yes. My father, King A.L., would like it to be known that he offers generous terms this year. If you were to just send 15 knights to help us in our war effort this year, we will protect you from the other Saxon tribes as usual. Otherwise, it shall be 100 pounds.
And if we send knights, is their compensation simply the protection of the realm?
Of the realm, yes.
Of the county. Yeah, okay. It's a generous offer, my lord. I will, or your grace, I will certainly take it before Countess Ellen and advise. But she'll have to meet with all of her advisors. But I think that you make a fine offer.
Yes, I do. And he gives you the crazy eyes. You are dismissed. As you're walking away, you can hear, unusually, that the King of Wessex, Cerdic, has demanded tribute from the Countess. He's been kind of on again, off again about it, and of course his son has shown up to flirt with women, but an actual offer of tribute to him has never gone through. So
And it feels like if we buy protection through our service of the others, then we can test whether it's that protection is actually any good. I think I need to speak to the other members of the order first before I speak to Ellen on this.
okay, we get the gang back together. Gwent is nearby, shuffling some cards, but it's a new deck.
So the cards keep sticking together?
No, I mean, it's for a different game. It's no longer for
okay, nice.
Sorcerer, the
collecting.
The collecting, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Story of the 12 kingdoms or something?
No. This time, it's about 5 nations that tear each other apart at war. They're knights that ride huge war machines made up of like 4 horses together, and then the knight like stands on top of the horses with giant lances or shoots a massive crossbow. It's called Battletic, the collectible card game. They involve strange illustrations of massive ballistas, and all of the mechs are named like Crusader or Longbow or Archer. It's wild.
Do the cards come with tokens?
Yeah, sure, I guess so. Some say that the tabletop game is more popular than the card game, but others insist that the card game is the pure form, the original.
That's right. It's the Latin game Alfarius Strike.
Strike.
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
A Battletech joke and a Warhammer joke in a Pendragon show. Now that one hurts deeply. Please continue without me.
So it seems that we have an offer to send a mere 15 knights with Sussex. Sussex or whatever, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Sussex is Prince Sissa.
Yeah. I don't know if that was in exchange for protection or simply in exchange for no tribute. But presumably, you know, the ultimate is 100 Libra as tribute to buy the protection. So I would say that it should include both. Although we've also got now Cerdic asking for tribute.
Is it the standard 100?
I didn't hear, but my initial inclination is to talk to Ellen about whether we can find 15 knights we can spare, give those to Sussex, and then not pay Cerdic. What do you think?
More reasonable than the
100 Libra.
100.
And they've been, I mean, we haven't needed their protection so far, but they certainly seem to have bullied the other Saxons into line. Although I think that's going to be put to the test this year. I'd be for it.
All right. Shall we all talk with Ellen then?
I agree.
Very well.
Yes.
Go have our meeting.
Okay. You go to have a second meeting with the Countess Ellen.
But this one thing, I think this is a bit more open in that
it's a group of people. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And we go back to like the meeting room or something. What about, would Baron Wheel be here for this as well?
Of course. He would. Yeah. I mean, if you invite him, he'll come to it.
Yeah,
he's definitely at the feast.
Yeah, I think this needs to include all of her direct advisors. So
yeah, this is like the main
Sir
council
Leo
of
is
Salisbury.
also in attendance. Then
okay.
He has still not officially taken up the role of sheriff, but essentially does the job without the title.
Yeah.
The 6 of you gather.
My lady, I've spoken with the representative of King Ayla of Sussex. They proposed, in place of tribute this year, we instead send no more than 15 knights to help them in their current battles. If we do not, then they expect 100 livra. There is also King Cerdic here, similarly demanding tribute. I and the Orders of the Axe have discussed this. Our recommendation, and obviously these austere gentlemen before us may provide other advice, but we believe the right course of action is to provide knights to the service of Ayla and to not pay Cerdic. This would give us a year's break from reaching into our coffers, although we would leave the county slightly less defended.
I have received a similar offer for 15 knights from Aethelswith of Essex, who will almost certainly be at war with King Ael. Sussex has been a good protector of us over these past few years. If our knights are uncomfortable to serve, I have the funds to cover this. I am not certain the temperature at the court for a battle on behalf of the Saxons. Many knights, I'm sure yourselves included among them, are ill-tempered towards our invaders. I would ask what you think. Should we send the knights, or should we perhaps pay tribute to Sussex?
I think that there's two elements here. One is that fighting with Saxons is one thing, but it's still fighting against Saxons. These are Saxons fighting each other. And although we have been involved recently in sieges, I do think that there is a benefit to knights receiving actual combat experience. If we have any recently spurred knights, and this is a good opportunity to give them experience in battle. Money can't buy experience, but in this case, we save money and we get it.
And you, the two of you, are in agreement?
Counsel. Yes, milady.
Indeed.
Is there someone who you think might volunteer to go, or?
Let me have a look at my family and see if anyone I should volunteer.
But as long as it isn't you guys, right? Like, we don't need to follow you on the camera. If you're sending B team and C listers, that's fine.
Yeah, that was my thought. Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone you also might, Crusader Kings 3 style, want to send to purposely get killed.
I don't think so.
You know how it is. Sometimes you stack all of your knights and men-at-arms in one army, and then you have your heir ride out the battle alone, a one-man army versus a 10,000 stack of levies, and once he's dead, you bring the rest of the army in.
Yeah.
Just in case Glimo had any enemies he wanted to remove.
None of my enemies are currently knights.
Currently knights. You could solve that problem by knighting Quintus and then sending him.
I don't believe that he would meet the qualifications.
Okay.
I have two uncles who are still in service to my household, both of which are in their 50s. I think that like they said 15 nights, not necessarily 15 good nights. I don't mind, like, they're probably past their use by date, so I'm prepared to send two of my knights to, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that other people here was to make sure that it's not just on the three of us to provide 15 knights.
Okay. As you leave the Countess and she begins finding messengers to send messages to knights here, indicating that if they wish, they can volunteer or be voluntold to go to King Ael of Sussex. You hear news that King Nantaliod in the Gales is hiring footmen to join him for a battle through the mountains. No knights, just footmen and people who wish to go in on foot to fight wild tribesmen. This is a bit unusual. Glimo, I'd like you to make an intrigue roll again.
He's looking for. Looking to hire mercenaries.
He is, but footmen only, not
but footmen only. Okay.
Am I still impassioned?
Yeah, I think so.
Got to be for the same skill roll, though. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is the same skill. It is intrigue.
18 out of 20.
is successful. It is pretty strange. You don't know a lot, but you do know that the hillsmen are led by the King of Brichiniog, sorry, Wales, and it seems like he wants to throw himself into the service of King Nantaleod. It's just that his own tribal people don't want to go along with it, right? But it is strange that the King Nantaleod would attack such a second king who wants to surrender to him and join vassal. It's remarkable upon. There may be a plot here for sure, more than what you're seeing.
I will pass this information along in case anyone knows more about the Welsh than I do.
No, we've not been really to Estragalis or anything, have we?
Kyned led not Kyned, Kendric led a mission over that way.
Yeah.
It ended in a disaster. There was a murder in a royal court right in front of you.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have exonerated the prince who is now
Vengeance,
the king of that area, and we kind of sort of befriended Nantaleod. But I would not say that I have any specific knowledge of the Welsh.
I don't know that it's called Wales right about now, but
yeah,
we call it Wales because that's what it is. I think now's a good time to take our break. And when we return, we'll wrap up business at court and begin the year. Stick around for that middle part.
Or don't.
Welcome back to the second part. What do you guys want to do?
I have a couple things that I would like to do. Firstly, I'm going to talk to the Countess, and I don't think this needs to be a scene. Kendric is just basically going to tell her that he will be sending knights to assist Dorchester.
Okay.
Unless she commands him not to.
So Dorchester is run by Praetor Jonathel, son of Praetor Jarnathan, and Jonathan! He is more than willing to take in mercenaries. It should be noted that they don't expect this to be a field battle. He's basically holding up in the castles.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then one of my other things is I would like to kind of talk up the Order of the Axe, just kind of, in passing conversation, talking about, the things we've done, the things we've accomplished, kind of seeding out there that, we might be recruiting knights soon. And then the last thing that I would like to do is to start to try and make some overtures to acquiring either like a business or some territory in the city of Duplain.
A business proposition.
Yeah, like and not even necessarily a business. Like basically what Kendric wants to do is he wants to get some sort of holding within the city that he can pull like rents and taxes from.
Well, I have to say, as you know, the locals are very independent and republic-minded, but
yes,
money
I do
talks.
know that. Mm-hmm.
I think that this will be an intrigue roll to get your foot in the door here.
Okay. It's not great for me.
Otherwise, the paperwork is just so much to get through. What a headache.
Yeah, that's a failure.
16 on a 3. Yeah. No one says no to you, but there's just so many bylaws. There's a homeowners association. You think that you're done with the paperwork, but it turns out it needed to be filled out in triplicate, so you're going to have to start again and have a monk use one of those 3 pens at once things.
In triplicate.
In triplicate, yes. How many nights are you sending to Dorset?
5.
Okay, so you will get £5. They will also, each knight will get £1 themselves, and then if there is a battle, they will get a cut of the booty or be dead. One of the two. Who else has the stuff?
Is anything happening with my heir Elfin's pending marriage?
Who was that to?
The Princess of Ridichan.
Oh, my understanding was that you hadn't actually agreed to that yet.
I
Oh,
thought
are you
I-
saying yes for sure?
Our understanding was it wasn't an option.
Right.
Well, not saying no and saying yes are two different things. My apologies. Yeah, I mean, if you're in for it, they're absolutely willing to have that happen with the understanding that you're a member of the family, even if the I mean, I wouldn't call her a princess, but the lady will not inherit. You know, her brother is going to inherit the county. But you will certainly be given quite a dowry for all of that and such, right? No, wait, she gets the dowry? No?
No, she gives her parents give the dowry.
Yes, there will be a dowry involved for sure. A considerable one given her status. Yeah, they're in for it. How old is your...
Elfin is 15.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get married yet. Let's pencil that in for 505. How about that?
Okay.
We're not going to make it a grand wedding, though. That costs 500 gold. That's right. Crusader Kings 3 reference again. I'm a maniac. I'm a lunatic. It's a good game, and I want to play it again, but I can't find anybody to be a duke with me. You're the only one, Spoon. You're the only one who has the time. All right. James, anything else?
Is there a glory for officially announcing their betrothal? Or...
Yeah, you know what? But it's for them, not for you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? He gets the glory, and so does she. You know what? I'll give you 5 glory as the leader of your house for announcing a betrothal to a daughter of a countess. We'll scrape it by. You'll get way more glory when you attend the wedding. You know what I mean? Those things are like 20, 25 glory.
Just got to survive that long.
It's just 5 years. How bad could it be? Oh, God. Remember 5 years ago? 2020? How bad could it be, guys? Remember March of 2020?
It's funny you say that, because you know how like things like Facebook will show you, like, here's photographs from this time X many years ago. You know that in March of 2020, I took a bunch of customers on a holiday to the Whitsundays and in the Great Barrier Reef of Australia. And at this point in time, like, news was starting to just emerge that there was a bit of illness going around the world, and right after Chinese New Year, and we're all sort of talking about, wouldn't it be a shame if we got stuck here in this luxury resort for an extra few weeks, But the photographs of that trip were popping up on my feed the other day. It's like, oh, we were so innocent back then.
I'll drop something in our channel.
Oh, boy. Wow. Now I'm worried.
something I saw in a French Quarter restaurant
Wow.
on Mardi Gras Day.
Wow. Look at that photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Okay. If there is nothing else at this grand festival, the Pentecostal feast, then we will move into the year. There is an invasion, which surprises very few people. A huge fleet of Saxons appear off the Kerkulen coast, which is what? That's the south, right? Where is Kerkulen? I love how they never tell you who's the Prince of Blood and Kerkulen. Nope, not Caracol. That's in Mexico.
Would be, I suppose. I want to see on the map.
The Yar River is involved. And that is the Isle of Wight. So,
Okay.
yeah,
that's
definitely a Wessex for sure. They appear off the Kerkulen coast and sail up the Yar River to go sack Yarmouth. They re-embark and sail upriver to disembark again at Norwich. The Duke of Kerkulen marches his army to battle, but the Saxons prove more numerous than expected, and his army is butchered. The Saxons then finish assaulting Norwich and starve out Buckingham and Thetford. They occupy the cities, and groups of Saxon warriors wander the countryside, robbing and killing. Thousands of refugees begin fleeing, and I would point out Salisbury is quite close and directly north of them.
Norwich.
You're in the wrong spot. It's over here.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
you're
it's,
right.
so it's
Yeah,
basically it's Anglia.
There's
Like,
another,
this
there's a second Yar River in England. England! What? I agree. You're right. It's in Anglia. All right. Why are there two Yar? Well, I mean, what's the old English word for river? Avon. There's a bunch of.
Yeah.
There's like 5 river Avons. So who the fuck knows? You know.
Yeah.
Really, I think we can all just blame the Romans for everything. It's their fault. All right. So they land in Anglia, and they begin attacking it. Quilcum is the Saxon king, and his people aren't really Saxons, they're actually Angles, and they just left their native land of Anglia because the Danes conquered it, and now they're here in Britain to be free. So now more Angles have arrived to be allies of the Saxons. And it should be noted that the Kent is not really settled by Saxons, it's settled by Jutes from Jutland. So,
But,
I don't know.
now
Who currently owns Jutland? It's Denmark, right? Is that where Jutland
we had
is
the
now?
first Anglo-Saxons now, though.
Yes, we do. Well, I mean, the children of such a union will be Anglo-Saxons for sure. There's also war in Dorset. King Idris besieges Dorchester, but the city has stout walls and good supplies. Cornwall withdraws before it conquers anything significant, and Praetor Jonathan, son of Jarnathan, is claiming a great victory, even though all he did was stop the Cornishmen. He is the first one to have won a battle against them. Anyone working for Kid Idris or Praetor Jonathan of Dorset gets their mercenary pay. So you get your 5 and your men get their 1, in addition to whatever else they would earn from you. There is no battle, so there's no loot to be had. However, you do hear that your knights under King Ael are called to battle against the Jutes of Kent, as the Saxon warriors from Sussex and the Jutes of Kent clash, marching against each other and meeting in battle deep in the Purdue Forest. There is nothing any hired knights do, and you get letter after letter being sent that they just wait on the roads while the two forces skirmish through the forest. Eventually,
We didn't see anybody that we wanted to die then.
Sorry?
Good thing we didn't see anyone we wanted to die.
At the end of it, the Saxon paymaster tries to not pay any of the knights for their 40 days of service under the Saxons. And because they didn't fight, they didn't earn any pay. The knights from various houses from across the realm all begin basically borderline rioting, and King AL finally makes the paymaster pay. It's not good for a king to be seen not paying their debts. In fact, famously, some kings always pay their debts.
They formed the first knight union.
Yes, the very famous Knight Federal Credit Union, of course. And more news from afar. Late in the year, King Nanteliod of Escavallon, a person who is known to you, I don't know that we'd call them a friend, does win a battle against the king of, I apologize, Wales, Birchinioga, and wins his vassalage. The resistance is performative, and King Nanteliod takes his newly allied hillmen, his footmen, and his knights, marches west, and attacks the Irish in Estragales. The king of Estragales was not prepared to be attacked this year, and has no levies raised, only his household forces and whatever locals he can get, and is defeated. Estragales and the hillmen are now sworn to vassalage to Nanteliod, giving him strong control over the southern Welsh coast. He controls that whole stretch of land. And thus, we come to the best time of year. I'm simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
According to Google, that is pronounced Brehenyog.
All right, I understand. Brehenyong.
Fantastic.
I can't wait for it to show up in Fake Grand Order for sure. Like all the other Irish and Welsh things that show up in Fake Grand. I don't know why the Japanese writer of FGO is always like, you know what? It's called Rielta Nura and it's Irish. And I'm like, why though? Why, please? All right. At the Christmas court, all of your knights are celebrating. It has been a great year for them. They've gone out and made a ton of money. The Countess didn't have to pay any tribute. There is some talk that throughout the year there have been small peasant infractions, things like that. Just sometimes people who aren't freedmen disappear. Others talk about increased banditry on the roads. Sir Leo has been quite busy. And of course, there is an enormous flood of refugees coming from the east. And as always, you're surrounded by Saxons on several sides. So not the best time, but certainly one of the best years you've had in a while. You also learn that Earl Kiniark of Kent, he did attend the feast, although none of you spoke to him. There are rumors from the east that when he attended, he saw Kendric at the feast and said, this is the man who I faced off against on the fields of Lindsay. He is not such a big man as he was back then. I think I could easily best him now. These are words of the Prince of Kent.
He's welcome to try.
Are you going to send a message to him saying he's welcome to try?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. I'm going to roll a d20.
Okay.
And let's see if you've injured his pride. Okay. That's a 1. All right. I think, I mean, that's what happens at the Christmas court. And several people are like, wow, you're not worried that at the Pentecostal feast he'll show up and challenge you to a duel? Or maybe just ambush and kill you like the jute dog that he is?
If he has any scraps of honor that Saxons have, he will challenge me to a duel and I will defeat him. I have yet to lose.
At the court, you hear people shouting, "Saxons killing Saxons. Could anything be sweeter? Good news for all. Does anyone have any advice on how to incite them more? And Nantiliode is defeating the Irish. Didn't I say he was a strong king? Should we get closer with him?" There are rumors in the north that the Picts, who have stopped invading, are now invading again, which is a problem. A problem of Lot and Lothian. It's not a good time to have Pictus invasions. On the other hand, you have heard... Maybe I'll save that one. Anything you guys want to do at the feast?
Yes. Kendric would have personally invited Bud Fannin Smith, the mayor of Duplain,
The mayor
to come to the feast with him.
Yes, I see. I
And,
see.
and like, you know, sit at his table. And
What a dangerous invitation, but all right. Oh, it's
this is
been
the-
some time. I don't remember what this guy sounds like, so now he's Canadian. It's been some time since I've been invited to a feast like this. Right,
Well, I
proper
thought
having me here.
It's been what, 5 years since
Something like that.
we sorted out the matter at Duplain, and you earned your mayorship. And
Well,
then
Does one earn a mayorship? Surely
Uh,
it's the will of the people that select the mayor.
in fact, it was the Countess who appointed you. But I'm sure that the will of the people had quite a bit to do with it.
He doesn't say anything. He just kind of smiles and sips at a beer.
And, you know, Kendric will inquire as to how his silversmith's business is going. And
Oh, quite fine, thank you. Now, you know how it is. Silversmithing, we're a specialty place to play in. Our business is always well, but wealth has flowed in to the local county this year. Several people have commissioned unique pieces, you know. Some have been constructing follies.
that's so.
Yes. Yes. You and I, of course, know what a folly is, but just in case
Of
any
course.
listeners at home don't know what a folly is, it's a building that you construct on your lands that has no purpose. Like a tower in the middle of nowhere, or a bridge that isn't over a river. It's something that you put in place when you're very rich and noble, and of course very wise and attractive, on your land, so that when you have a party, you can point to it and say, wow, what a wonderful building that is. And everyone will go, it's so Roman inspired.
It can be decorative, certainly.
Yes, it's decorative, yes. And then you put things inside, like silver candelabras.
Literally from the French word meaning foolish.
And basically, Kendric is going to schmooze this guy to try and get some inroads into Duplain.
Is there a patient?
There is a.
I don't know. What would be a good role here?
I mean, there's prudent or like a courtesy check or courtesy
I'm
test.
not sure courtesy matters as much to this gentleman.
Okay, maybe a generous.
I know that intrigue isn't working for you. You've already failed it badly. I think if you're willing to spend some money for a bribe, a generous check would surely help you out here. For
Sure. Okay.
I'll tell you what the reward is before you roll it. If you succeed at a generous check here and you throw in 2 Libras, I will let Glimo make the intrigue check on your behalf.
Okay. Sure. I will take that. I'll take those odds.
All right. The snake will coil around.
Oh, that's a failure.
That is a failure. Please make a selfish roll.
Okay. That is also a failure.
They're both failures. So you get to decide how you would like to act here.
I mean, I would like to act generously.
Sure. Sure. You schmooze with the mayor, and he is receptive to healthy offers of, wealth and influence, and you talking about your mutual geolocation nearby, able to help out with any raids, or maybe if he doesn't fall into line, there could be a little, there could be consequences.
If he has any trouble with the triple struck shield mercenary company not wanting to protect the city again, then I can come in and talk to Captain Fletcher, soldier to soldier.
Oh, you hadn't heard? Fletcher was considering retiring.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, mercenarying's a young man's game nowadays. There's fighting all over the continent, and their services are well demanded this year. Not everyone wants to stick around and do garrison duty. The company's been in something of a riot all year. He might be losing control if he doesn't give it away.
Perhaps I'll come out and visit and see if perhaps they would like the patronage of a nobleman.
Perhaps. Just make sure to give us a good leadway before you come. Wouldn't want to surprise anyone showing up in full knightly gear in the outskirts of town.
Yes, I will. I will be sure to send the proper heralds ahead.
All right. Kyned, let's go ahead and make that intrigue roll to see if we can seal the deal here to buy some property.
Can I impassion with loyalty Order of the Axe?
I think so. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't allow that.
I fail.
Well,
but it is not a famous passion, so there's no penalty for failing. But I also fail the intrigue roll.
Oof, you're 18s this session, man.
I keep rolling them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kendric.
That's all right.
It's a rough time. You keep trying to get a foot in there, but even with the mayor's help, people don't want you around.
Well, perhaps I'll just pivot and become the new owner of a slightly used mercenary company.
Slightly. That I think you want your mercenary companies used, right? Am I crazy in thinking that?
No. I think that's 100%.
I don't really want a fresh one. Okay. I think part of the problem is that they're really trying to overcharge you for this position, right? Like you're trying to get some land and a business in there, and they want to charge you £50 to get set up in there, which is several times the going rate.
Yeah, and would take, decades to earn back.
Yeah. But they're talking about, the mayor's just like, I'm so sorry, but, the land you're looking to acquire, it's such a premium position. People are willing to pay an incredible price. Real estate market now, with the inflation in this economy, it's booming.
You're looking at least 8%.
Yeah, I know. I know everybody wants to be a landlord, own some properties and such, but it's a bad time to get into the market. The best time to get in would have been in your grandfather's era. The next best time is now.
Just after the war with when Ambrosius beat the Saxons.
Yeah.
That was the time to buy.
Real estate was cheap back then. It was a different time. I was a young man.
I bought my first house for 6 Libra.
now it's worth 60.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else have something to do with this feast?
I believe so.
I have found the price of mercenaries, by the way, Spoon.
Yes.
Knights are not covered under it, but a sergeant is £1 a month, so that seems pretty knight equivalent.
What book is that in, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it's in 5.1 on page 166. Investments.
Sure.
Wow, it's 3 denarius to get somebody to read a letter for you.
If nobody else has anything, I think Kendric is going to spend some time talking up the Order of the Axe again to the general nightly public of Salisbury.
Ah, well, Sir Seath, that's what I forgot to announce. Seath and Erwin have announced they're getting married, and they're calling their new house line the Blackfire. Each of them picked one part of the name.
Nice.
And you are invited to the ceremony, which will take place 1 day before the Pentecostal feast next year.
I'm more than happy to attend.
Excellent.
See if they can crank out a baby before then.
Well, given that it's Christmas and it's a
Oh,
Pentecostal
Pentecost,
feast, they'd have to work.
That's right, it's Easter, yeah.
You know what they say? You can't make a baby with 9 women in 1 month, James. And I think if Seath was with 8 other women, Erwin might kill him, so...
Her limit's 7.
What the fuck, man?
Also, that doesn't apply to the feast here, but at some time during the year, Kendric would have gone down to, is it Chalk that Titania is in charge of, and done like the, because I think last year she invited him to like a fellowship.
Yes, that's going to be solo
Oh,
scenario.
okay, solo, okay.
Yes. Okay. Very well. I declare this year ended. Let's take a break a little early and then come back and do end of year stuff. Is that crazy?
That works.
Works for me.
James, you look
I'm crazy. I can do crazy.
Oh. You just look like you had something to say and then you didn't say anything.
No.
All right. Well, audience, we're going to get crazy. We're going to go absolutely nuts and go apeshit, and then we'll be back in about 5 minutes for the third.
You're definitely still muted.
Damn it! I know I'm still muted. I know, damn it. What I said was welcome back to another, and now it's less high energy and more complaining. Welcome back to an attempt to make a net positive introduction to the third of this episode, where we will be doing solo scenarios to start with. I believe that's the first part of Winter Phase.
Correct.
It is indeed.
Kendric, you travel to Chalk, where you become embroidered into a spiritual multi-day affair. There's a big pole that people dance around. There are other mystical rituals of paganism that I don't know that all happen. There's definitely something druidic, and some would even say fey and magical about it. And while there are occasionally, let's call it rolls in the hay in the background, you as a stalwart man who would never betray his wife aren't involved in any of that, unless you tell me right now that you are.
No.
Didn't think you were. Didn't think I could make you do that again.
I do love the fact that the summary of Arthur's pagan ritual knowledge is dancing the maypole.
Why do you... listen, you know how hard I had to look for fucking Kiniark's name? It's not in King Arthur Pendragon anywhere. I had to go look up historical records, and when I did, I was finally like, oh, his name is in King Arthur Pendragon, the book. It's just fucking listed in one section. He's only listed under Aethelings, not even princes. God, it's really hard to look shit up. Do you think 5.2 is like, here are some pagan rituals and shit? How am I supposed to look up ancient British paganism? Modern paganism does not have the same beliefs. That's all I'm saying, James. That's all am I fucking George R. Martin here? Do I have to be like, that's right, at the Fist of the First Men, Kendric held the lie. He performed the ancient werewood rituals. Yeah, I'm doing what I can here. I would like you to make a spiritual roll.
Okay.
To see if you can have a spiritual experience here.
see. I do. I succeed.
10 on an 11. During the experiences you're having, you talk to many people and you try to piece together ancient codes of knighthood, things that existed before the arrival of the Romans and their Latin ways. And surprisingly, you find that some folks, refugees from Dorset and Dorchester, are here. And they, of course, have very strong Roman heritage, but they also have some Cymric blood in them. And one of them approaches you like a sort of crone old woman who's just like, "Ah, Sir Kendric, you've come to bless our ceremony." "Yes, well, my grandfather's wife's uncle was a knight in the old days, before Ambrosius and Vortigern and all of that. I always remember him saying that a knight is valorous. That should come as no surprise to you, but it is part of the ancient codes."
Thank you. Knights are indeed valorous.
"Would you like some fully legal medicines? I've got some leeches here. Perhaps you'd like some of this mysterious powder. You lick it. It's a paralytic."
Thank you for the offer.
No, none of that. What about some
I will
arrowroot?
pass.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Kyned.
Yes.
It's intrigue time again.
Okay.
By the way, if you don't have a check mark in intrigue, go ahead and mark one.
I get one every year, but I will
Okay.
mark it now.
Mark it now. For you, there is something strange going on in the forest south of Salisbury. Now, exactly what the forest name is has changed from time to time. On our map, we see it's called the Camelot Forest, but Camelot doesn't exist yet, so it's not called the Camelot Forest currently. It is called Broceliande, the legendary enchanted forest, or as it's known, Morgaine's Forest, locally in Dorchester. And as more and more people flee from the battles that are happening in the south of Dorchester, and of course from Saxon possible invasion from Wessex into Dorset, you begin hearing stories that things are happening in this mystical and magical forest that no one goes into. I would take either intrigue or fairy lore for you to get tuned in on what's the biz.
I will try intrigue. That's a success.
5 on a 16. Okay. There are strange happenings of people passing through the forest. Merchants, travelers, many avoid it, but just as many pass through it. It's a great route between two strong rivers that leads to Salisbury. And more importantly, given its mystical location, one can be afforded some measure of privacy. But rumors are coming out of the south that there is a mysterious knight who does not identify themselves, but wherever they pass, there can be loud roaring and barking of dogs be heard, and people enter into songs. Whether there be a jongleur troupe, a lutist, or a harpist nearby, people are suddenly thrown into a musical. Wherever this knight goes.
Kyned has met him.
Yes,
Yes.
personally.
Good King.
King Pelly.
Good King
Good King
Pellinor.
Pelly.
Yes. Some call him the greatest knight of this generation. A man so dedicated to his quest, he has abandoned his kingdom for over a decade, fully committed to the quest. Anything you want to do with that info, or you're good? It's okay if you're just good with it.
I'm Glimo is actually trying to remember. Was it Kyned that went searching for the questing beast?
I don't think so.
Hang on, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I don't think so though.
It was a long time ago.
I think it was one of my dead guys.
Yeah, I think it was Harad.
I think it was the middle guy actually.
Hebes.
Yeah.
I think it was Hebes.
Yeah. Okay. I think that Kyned is he's interested about this, but yeah, he's got an 8 in fairy lore right now. Okay, yeah, he'll actually if he can hear, the forest is big, so if he hears a reliable location for that Pelennor has been seen recently, he'll try to ride out and find good King Pele.
Okay. We'll come back to that at the feast next year. Let me write that.
Okay.
down. A meeting with Pelennor.
Better start working on your rhymes, Glimo.
Gwgan,
Yes.
you are in the unfortunate situation that your business as castellan and as a heraldic messenger of the Countess has called you to business at the Abbey at Amesbury, where the Queen, Widow, Regent Igraine is situated at, and of course where you have performed a sort of murder to some extent. Your brush with the Order of the Axe and all of that business with the kidnapped child, of course, has left you an enemy of the Abbey. And so I must ask, to complete your courtly business, could you please make me a modesty roll?
A modesty roll. Okay.
Yes, the opposite of a pride roll. I must ask you to travel to Modesto, California.
May I
bargaining.
test Loyalty Lord first, because I'm doing this as part of my
Yes,
duty?
of course. Why not?
That's a success.
It is indeed a success.
That's a success on modest.
While you have officially been banished from this place, the Countess has pulled enough strings that it will be lifted for some time while it is under review, clerical review. And your business passing a message to the Queen on behalf of the Countess goes on without a hitch. A senior knight was required to show enough honor, the Countess too busy to deliver it herself. But your knight to the former current queen, is successful. And your time there passes with an escort of loyal, sworn, not carrying swords, but knights who have sworn themselves to the defense of the Abbey, just to make sure you don't embrace anyone like a true Christian. I use that phrase in Pondo's Savage Worlds game. Everyone was worried I was going to kill someone when I was like, come embrace me like a true Christian.
The fact that Spoon's wife crocheted it,
yeah,
for
so
me was
good.
peak achievement. There you go.
I mean, that's almost like having a literal real life achievement pop up on your screen. You know what I mean? Okay. Solo scenarios are over. Everyone may take 10 glory for their successes, or 5 if you were not successful. And let us move to all the other parts. Now, based on the
Fun stuff.
wealth accumulated this time, you will automatically upgrade your method of living to the next highest one of whatever you're choosing.
Rich.
Well, you're now more than rich. Now,
Let's
this is
begin.
because the relative wealth of Salisbury compared to all of its neighbors is quite high. The Salisbury dollar is quite strong compared to the Silchestrian euro.
So that means for the same price as going to rich, I could go to superlative.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What a rich and superlative choice.
Yeah. So start off with anticipated income.
Do we...
You do the rolls for the properties,
Yeah, we
right?
need to
The
do.
skills?
Yeah. Well, I was
Which
to say,
one's
yeah.
Oh, so the skill roll.
Experience, yeah.
Experience rolls.
I was
I have to
saying
do
while I was
all the
muted,
checks and things that the manor gives us in that.
yeah,
All right, so roll energetic.
that's one of the things that suffers from the truncated years is not a lot of checks.
I love God more.
Ooh, love of family does go up.
Okay, now... Energetic goes up. Loyalty Lord does not. Love of family does not.
Oh, sweet. My lance goes up.
Hospitality
Yes.
does not. Falconry does not. Intrigue does not.
Mercy does not.
Spirit goes up.
Hunting does not.
Must be because I visited an abbey.
Sure.
I am done with
Could I make
rolls.
an argument for a check to generous for choosing to act generously?
You can make the argument, but you would have gotten one if you'd been successful and generous. So
All right, fair enough.
I am
my-
going
my
to need a new
ex-
squire this year.
My experience rolls are complete.
One more to roll.
Oh, need to do experience for our wives.
Oh yeah. That is 3d6, correct?
Yep. Nothing goes up.
It goes.
All right. Then aging.
Yep. Oh boy. Oh. Yep. I'm good. Thank God.
I am also good. No aging this year.
All right, now we're into economic
My
circumstances.
squire is 21, so I need a new squire. Is that correct?
that seems
Are they turning 21?
They turn 21.
Okay. Okay, I will also need a new primary. Well, actually, does anybody have any family members they want to have as a secondary squire to me? Because I have a secondary squire that I'll bump up to make my main squire.
Let me check my. How old do they have to be?
15 to start.
Yeah.
If you wanted to squire my. Actually, no, I would probably squire my heir.
Well, technically, you're. Oh, well, I mean, in the feudal system, you are not typically not allowed to squire to your own family.
Oh, okay. If you would like to squire my heir Elfin, he will be turning 6. He is 15 now, turning 16.
Absolutely, I'll take him.
My heir is also 16, or turning 16 this year, so
I'm happy to squire your heir if you'd like.
I think that's going through the countess at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Note here to remember that this is Glimo's heir, so not to send him on any.
My last year with without aging rolls.
For Gwgan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much is it to sponsor someone as a knight?
20 Libra.
Oh, that's it. So 20, sorry. Yeah.
Most of that is for the charger.
All right, we'll see how good my economic circumstances are. Maybe I'll sponsor the Fonway.
We're getting so good at end of year. I feel like I barely even need to step in.
That is an absolutely awful income roll. I rolled minimum on almost all my dice. In fact, that is the worst income I've had for years.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, James. That's 1, 1, 1, 1.
Did your only one of those is actually showing up as a die?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
no, maybe
right.
No, the 2d6s show as squares because 1d6 there's no shape for a 1d2 or a 1d3.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had like a d8 and you'd have like a diamond shape.
Some shitty rolls, man.
So you get the more the H shape there.
All right, I have an income of 7. Mineral luck is a 1d6, correct?
Yeah.
Oh.
After this year, I will get a. So next year, I'll start getting a 1d3 plus 1 from my orchard.
My most expensive investment was destroyed in a fire.
Bro.
Oh, I get a benefit.
What
My
is my
lands were
most
cursed
expensive?
by a fairy. Plus 12 fate.
Unbelievable. What is happening right now?
My salt evaporator is destroyed.
Oh, Builder owes me a favor. 2 Libra free improvements. Cool.
AP, would you do the honors of doing the
3d6 plus
weather
5?
roll? Yeah.
Now, do you want this to be high or low?
We want it to be low.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the dice are going to be 2, 1, 4. That's pretty decent. That's less than
13.
average.
Yep.
Great. My misfortune crit.
So the weather roll goes in the fate box, correct?
Yeah.
Minus, so -1.
Don't forget as well to test for all your entourage skills too. I haven't done that either yet.
Did that, thank you. My misfortune was success.
I had a bad year.
Don't
And
forget about your
steward was success.
-1 to your fate from
From
your
the
beehive.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a failure.
And win or tie is regular.
My misfortune failed. Thank God for the beehives. And
Oh yeah, and concern my commoners.
stewardship is a success. It's a good harvest.
Concern my commoners fail. No effect.
So I went backwards 10 Libra this year.
I
Oof.
lost my salt evaporator, so that's effectively going backwards 10 Libra.
Yeah.
I love how the storyline this year is Salisbury is unusually wealthy and is doing great because they're the only county not under attack, and you guys are having your worst year ever.
Hey, I'm having a pretty decent one. Which also reminds me, I need to roll for population growth. Nope. Okay. What is the expenses for living richly?
An extra 3 more.
An extra 3 more. Okay. So it'd be what, 13?
Yeah.
That would get you to superlative this year.
Yes.
Okay. I am going to live rich and then spend 20
On knighting.
on knighting Ifanwe.
James,
Yes.
would Gwgan be interested in? I believe my latest squire was another one of Gwgan's cousins. She turns 21 this year. Were you going to knight her?
I'm happy to knight someone for sure. And I can invest her in a property as well.
Just giving you first right of refusal if you did not want to. But
Yeah. What was her name?
Terwin, TERRWYN.
WYN.
And then I think I'm now on my third cousin of yours. Is now Kristen.
Are you feeling
Yes.
old now, Spoon? Ancient and withering?
Listen, I'm as old in game as I am in real life
Are
now.
you middle-aged or in the Middle Ages? This is the only show I can make that joke.
How many knights you need to have invested in order to be a banneret lord?
3.
3
3
okay.
total.
So technically now, Wayne's heir has enough because Gwgan counts as one. Gwgan, Gwent, and now Terwin are all invested knights under the title of the Wayne's household.
Oh, wait, I'll only be 36 this year. Is that right? So we were 21 and 485.
That air's
Yeah, it
starting to
could be
look pretty
36.
good as a banneret, is all I'm saying. That's solid.
Okay, I'm only 36 this year. Actually, so I'm 1 year younger than myself in real life.
We can solve that next episode.
Okay. So what are we on now? Family roles or child survival? Oh wait, no, we're on building. That's right. Sorry.
Can I make a... do I want to do this? Yeah, why not? I've got the money.
He's cooking. Everyone stand back. He's cooking. I don't know what he's cooking, but
I was going to try to rebuild the... Actually, no, I've got to wait till next year because it gets destroyed this year.
Yeah.
So never mind. Yeah.
I am going to raise a stone circle of 7 stones. It's probably really more of like a semicircle.
it's just like the opening scene from Valheim. You carve the faces of all the bosses into it, and then you hang their dead heads as trophies. Wow, they can't be monoliths because they're more than one stone, so I guess they're plinths, technically.
Yes.
Yes. Standing and I could raise 2 or 7 standing stones or plinths, or there's another option for the stone circle. It basically is the same thing either way. I would argue, however, the Book of the Manor says it grants a check to worldly, but as a pagan, I was wondering if we could switch that to granting a check to spiritual.
Sure, I'll allow it. You're on a quest.
And
finding your religion.
Yes, and the first plinth has the carving of a knight is valorous on it.
Yes. You already knew that because you're a knight and your valor score's pretty good.
And then, so that was 10. No, that was 14.
The salt evaporator burns down. I think getting struck by lightning is really sick, though. If that's part of the burning down, you know,
that seems legit.
A dry lightning day, just illest luck possible. I don't know about getting struck by a meteor, because then he's going to be like, well, I want space rocks to forge super metal out of. I need to get my Sokka sword.
Yeah, the salt made the evaporator very dry, burned easily. I think I'm on to family events now.
You did child survival and all of that?
Oh, you're right.
That's part of it.
Yep. Horses, special horses, childbirth, child survival, and then family events.
And then
Remind me, Rich is
+2. Plus one. Sorry, for +1 for child survival.
Yes.
And +2 for birth.
Yes. Or something like that. Are you trying to have more children?
I am.
Ooh.
Yeah, no deaths, but every child except one was sick.
That honestly sounds correct. Glimo, that's... So no childbirth for you.
And it's... Once they're 16, they're okay, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it says under 15 years of age, so once they're 15, they're okay.
Okay.
Of course, then they become squires or handmaidens or ladies in waiting, so they enter a new realm of danger.
Yeah, I'm gonna take an aging roll.
Yep. Rather than take EL.
Yep. That's 1. So that is...
Ooh, just missed.
Rough.
We're just waiting on Spoon to grow old, and then we'll get around to family events.
My size goes down by 1 again.
Oh, no. Wow, and you were just made fun of by the Prince of Kent for being smaller than normal.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It'll be okay when I kick his ass.
I mean, he's almost half your age, but the same size. All right. Let's see some D20s for these family events. Glimo! Scandalous! Please roll again. James gets no event, and Kendric gets a marriage in the family.
Hey.
Your decision.
Yeah.
Come on, Glimo. He rolled a 1. There's a
Insulted
rumor
a
that
lord.
you insulted a lord.
Someone did in the families.
I think that there's a rumor that you insulted King Pellinor. We'll figure out how that rumor goes down next episode when you meet with King Pellinor. But I think that I think what happens is you search for Pellinor and you just keep having trouble finding him, and people say that it's because you insulted him, and that's why he's always one step ahead of you.
Mm.
Right up until you meet up with him.
So I will have Gwyneth de Pitton get married. I'm also going to knight Gwyneth, as she is one of my
Of course.
soldiers.
Make sure she knows that a knight is valorous.
Yes,
Of course.
of course.
Of course. Training and practice. Your 3 choices is normal. Kendric is shrinking. He's like a reverse Super Saiyan. He gets weaker with every battle. So he's a normal person. Well, anyone want to narrate choices here?
Just
Yeah.
thinking about whether normally I do the multiple points because I haven't got that many skills that are over 15. But I was just thinking the skills I've got over 15 are battle, horsemanship, sword, lance, awareness, compose, courtesy, or rate. No, I think I'm going to roll I'm going to take a chance and roll low again. Of course, I got minimum. There we go.
Yeah. Let's see. Hmm.
I think I'll also take the training and practice this time. Whoa, look at me.
I've had 1 to training, 1 to stewardship this year.
I got 7 points.
Let's see. Do I put up 1 point into sword to bump it to 19, or do I take the d6 plus 1?
I took the sword last year.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the sword this year. So my sword bumps to a 19.
I thought about glory min-maxing, but decided I'd take the skills.
You can't become bigger. Better.
I'm gonna put 2 in fairy lore, 2 in hunting, 1 in orate. Got 2 more.
Okay. Let's talk about glory.
I'm trying to. I've got 2 more points to
Okay.
give out.
More fairy lore.
I was thinking about it, especially if I'm gonna meet with good King Pele. Why not?
I'm gonna need to cook some good pre-made musical lines. making stuff up on the spot, I have to endure James cruelly going, "What's wrong? Can't rhyme on the spot?"
No, you did better than the rest of us. I rely upon artificial enhancement for that.
I rely on knowledge of a rhyming thesaurus. So that's all I have. I'm not as good as the guy who did Eminem as a 3rd century Chinese warlord. That is actually super sick.
And then it's glory.
Yep, glory time.
Yeah, I have got over 8,000 glory.
Yeah.
I am adding 1 point to my amour for Ellen, so I am now famous for my amour for Ellen.
He's famous for not having an affair. Incredible.
That's right. That's right. He is the world's
He's
first
the world's
simp.
most famous simp. He's the world's first tier 3 Twitch subscriber in history. I guess technically that's whoever kicked off the Trojan War. That was Paris, right? That is the world's first simp for sure.
Let's see. So, did we get any other glory other than our solo success throughout the year at all?
I don't know. We didn't do anything.
Yeah,
If you want to double check, you can go back and watch like an hour of show, but that was it.
yeah.
Because we are speed running this now. We're in hyper mode.
Whoa. We're speed running the dark times, you know? There's a reason
I'm not
episode
mocking
3
you,
to
so.
episode 4 skips 20 years. Ish. Not really. I mean, you get the idea. No one wants to live through the dark times.
While we're speed running,
Oh boy.
I just want
With
to
such a
reference.
phrase, now my blood pressure is skyrocketing.
No. I just want to re-reference page 122 and 5.2.
Yes.
There are the glory rewards of an ordinary glory reward. We might want to, during the speedrunning years, if we have a successful roll, we may want to think about maybe doing.
How much are you pitching me for a glory?
So the book says 10 for ordinary, but I think maybe like 5 would probably be more appropriate.
I think 10 for this year. It was a good year for everybody. Take another 10.
Okay.
Awesome.
For living through a bounteous year. Any closing thoughts to this episode?
I also just went over 8,000 glory. I will be putting a point back into my size.
Is it enough to bump your damage back up?
No, unfortunately, I
didn't
needed
think
to
so.
not lose size or strength to bump my damage back up. But it does bump me back up to the natural maximum for size.
Your wife has a frustrating year fitting your newest clothes.
Yeah, it's like you went down a size, you went up a size, you went down a size again, and then you went back up a size.
What are you, a child again?
You just did the thing where you got like really good at going to the gym and lost a bunch of weight, and then like something happened and you stopped for ages, and then you felt bad for putting weight, so you went back to the gym again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like all of us in reality.
Okay. There's nothing else. We'll be back at a minimum of 2 weeks. And that's it for this episode, audience at home. No shout-outs, nothing? Okay, we're waving goodbye. We're out.
Farewell.
Farewell.
High energy outro.